Hello and welcome to a look at our type for the Commodore 64. An Iron Corporation arcade original that was converted by Rainbow Arts and released by Electric Dreams. The plot of our type is that the evil Budo Empire is being more naughty than is usual, and mankind is not overly keen on that, so they sent out an R9 type starfighter, hence the title of the game, in order to lecture the Budo Empire in not being so naughty. Now, the game R-Type for fans of the side-scrolling shoot-'em-up genre hardly needs any introduction. The arcade original was a bit of a smash hit, mainly due to the fact that while being a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up like so many other side-scrolling shoot-'em-ups, it added two new mechanics to the genre that hadn't been seen before, and made the gameplay very enjoyable, but also a bit more tactical than many other shoot-'em-ups. First and foremost, you have your charge beam, which you can charge up and release a devastating beam of concentrated power that will punch through all light enemies and deal with more stronger enemies very quickly. And then of course the upgrade system, which comes in the form of pods. You have various different other upgrades such as speed up and missiles, and that should be rather self-explanatory, but the pod system was quite unique. The weapon pod itself is indestructible, which means of course that it is capable of absorbing small arms fire, I was about to say, but shots from normal enemies. Beams and things like that will punch straight through it. It will not harm the pod, but if the pod is attached to you, then it will definitely still harm you. The pod can be attached or detached at will, and that is where the added element of tactical thinking comes in, because there will be points in the game where having the pod detached is definitely ideal, and working out whether you want it attached or detached behind you can be just as important. Weapon upgrades from the weapon pod itself, it comes in three variations. You have a concentrated red-blue beam crossover thing laser, which is very good at concentrated frontal laser, firepower even. And then you have a bouncing blue laser which will reflect on hard surfaces and is very good at dealing with spread enemies. Later on you will also get access to a sort of calling laser which will is shot out from the sides of the pod, and then if there's any surface to call on, it will call along that surface until it hits something. When detached, the pod's firepower is the same element of what type of weapon the pod carries. So whether you have the powerful frontal laser or the core laser, the pod itself will have the same amount of firepower. The game is played over several levels which are very varied. And of course, as you can probably gather, the challenge is to defeat the various enemies of set levels, but also navigating the levels themselves. Later levels will have some geometry which is a bit wonky to deal with, and if you're not well versed with this game, will likely become quite a challenge. Let's talk technical aspects. Due to the nature of the fact that the Commodore 64 inherently had 16 colors, and not all variations of the colors were necessarily particularly epic, games which rely very heavily on color use in order to stand out can seem a bit flat. And that is not a knock against the Commodore 64, that's just a fact of reality. Or reality of fact, whatever, one of them works, you choose. The graphics are fine as such. You can easily identify the different levels and the enemies, and of course all the other stuff, and compared to the arcade original, this would definitely pale, but by and large by itself I'm perfectly happy with the graphics. The sound design, the sound effects are present but barely audible because the music is playing at all times, and the sound effects, when you can hear them, they're not bad, but because of the music you don't particularly miss them. I didn't, at least. The music is a upbeat variation of the arcade original's theme music, and some people will find that very, very enjoyable, and some people will not. And I'm somewhere in the middle. I've always had a great respect for the set chip sound, and when it is handled by a master of it, then it can sound quite spectacular, and I fully enjoy the style and tone of the music in this game. The controls are fine. Hit detection, I have experienced once or twice that it was a bit iffy, but by and large it feels reliable. There's still no issues when it comes to controls. Then of course we talk gameplay. There was a designer some time ago that said, I can't remember his name, sorry, the game designer I should say, that making a game difficult is not challenging. But does it serve any purpose? Depending on the project, you could have spent thousands of man-hours designing a game, drawing the graphics, composing the music, and doing whatever else you need to do in order to make the game function. What point does it serve if only a fraction of the player base can actually get to experience all your hard work? It is roughly equivalent to having the most glorious piece of art in an art gallery, and 95% of it is covered by black cloth. The gameplay in this version suffers from various different issues. First and foremost, the pacing between enemies and your craft is completely off. The enemies move a lot faster than you're capable of moving, and that means that even though you know how enemies are moving and where they're supposed to come from, you can still get overrun, which makes it not particularly enjoyable. Secondly, someone decided that once you detach your part, it should bounce all over the place instead of being in a forced fixed position like it is in most other versions where you can actually rely on it. And that also detracts a bit from the gameplay enjoyment. The third issue is the fact you have no continues. For some people that's a huge issue, and for other people it is not. But that means that whenever you game over, you have to start from scratch and plow through all the other challenging bits before you get to the challenging bit that was also challenging you in order to try and overcome it. And in all honesty, I've always enjoyed R-Type as a game. I've always enjoyed the gameplay and the challenge it presents. But the issues mentioned in this particular version adds a layer of difficulty that the game doesn't need. On that note, thanks for watching, take care, and see you next time. Bye bye for now.